Is she okay?
Sleeping like like a baby. That smells good. What's that?
Oh, hands off, mister. It's churba de legume. It's a local recipe.
Wow, you've gone full native, haven't you?
Local wine, too. But if you're gonna keep sulking all evening, maybe you shouldn't have any. You really have to stop worrying.
It's just finding you in Louisiana, the pregnancy, Chris moving us here, military training, it all happened so fast, you know?
Well, at least we're all together. You, me, Rose. Now, everything's gonna
Seriously, think we can just forget about what happened in Louisiana?
It happened so long ago. I don't understand why you are so...
Mia, get down!
None of that matters. He's gonna fuck Claire.
Mia!
Oh, you're gonna give her cover. Don't matter how fast you run or where you go, I will be right there anywhere on the go. I'll get rid of the women in your life except for my sister. I'll make her your wife.
Chris? What the hell?
Sorry.
No! What? Why?
Just fuck my sister.
How are you today? I hope you're doing well. Today we're gonna be doing a review on Capcom's latest entry in the Resident Evil franchise. Minor spoilers ahead regarding the type of enemies you will encounter in the game. Resident Evil Village Review. I must admit I got swept up by the hype of Resident Evil 8 that I went and played it first before 7. I have no prior attachment to Ethan Winters, but I did feel invested in the predicament that he found himself in when Chris Redfield shot his wife. Chris then without warning took Ethan's baby. They were supposed to take her somewhere safe. Unfortunately, a mysterious attacker got the drop on their vehicle and kidnapped Rose. They leave you in the dark as to what the hell Chris is doing, but everything will be explained later as the plot unfolds. The crash left Ethan stranded somewhere in the mountainous regions of Romania. Very dire predicaments. In this game Ethan will go through a lot to rescue her kidnapped daughter. Luckily for us, Ethan does have a very particular set of skills. Skills acquired after receiving military training from Chris. Hey, if you received military training from a man that punches boulders, then God help anyone who's going to stand in your way. Let's start with the gameplay. When I started playing I noticed the descriptions for difficulties. The description for hardcore is we will hit you with everything we've got. I'm a gamer. You can show me what you've got. I can handle a bit of difficulty. And then my ass immediately got handed to me by the first Lycan that I encountered. So I went back to the difficulty options and changed it to standard. The gunplay in this game is pretty tight. Here's the entire arsenal that I've used in the entirety of my 4 playthroughs. The Lamy is the first gun that you will get, and it shoots like a wet noodle. Once you get out of Castle Dimitrescu, you'll acquire the M1911 Colt pistol, which looks good and feels good. The USMAI is my favorite handgun. It's very slick. It doesn't need any upgrades and its raw firepower is enough for hardcore and Village of Shadows runs. Only unlockable once you've beaten the game once. There are 3 shotguns in this game, each increasing in firepower than the previous one. The M1897 shotgun is the first one you will have. Good for casual and standard difficulties. The W870 shotgun is viable for standard, and the last is the SIG-12 shotgun, which can down Lycans on the hardest difficulty with just 2 to 3 shots. One if you can pop them on the head. Shotguns also have a slight knockback effect. Sadly, there is only one sniper rifle in the game, the F2 sniper rifle. It was my go-to gun in standard when it comes to picking enemies in a distance or by mid-range. I didn't take it on my Village of Shadows run because I already had the SIG and the Magnum. These two outdamages the sniper so hard. The grenade launcher can be loaded with flashbang or explosive rounds. It's no rocket launcher, but it's still very fun lobbying explosives at a group of enemies. Explosive rounds fall off at hardcore and above, but the flashbang rounds remain useful in disorienting enemies. The Wolfsbane Magnum is a very powerful revolver that deals double the damage on Lycans and will carry you through the entirety of the Village of Shadows difficulty if you fully upgrade it. The WCX is the assault rifle that will melt your enemies as well as your ammo pool with how fast it consumes ammo. There's still a few unlockable weapons like the rocket pistol or the hand cannon, but I decided to only cover the ones I've used. For me, one of the main draw for this game is the visuals. The environment looks so darn good. I am running a 1050 Ti, and for that reason I've lowered the quality for performance, so what you see on the screen isn't its full potential. Even so, your surroundings are still a delight to look at. My favorite area in this game would probably be the castle because it feels so desolate, yet it's a definite eye candy. You would notice how gorgeous the interior is as Capcom works its magic of having you zigzag across the place as you unlock pathways with key items. Donna's manor looks stunning on the outside, resting near a waterfall. The manor is simple yet creepy. Once you get inside, however, you will notice how eerily quiet everything is. Moros section is okay. Just your standard Resident Evil water section. Heisenberg's factory can get pretty intense with the tight corridors and the whole Frankenstein's army vibe that it has. In terms of enemy variety, there is a lot coupled with a bunch of enemy subtypes. The Moroica are mold-infected humans made by Lady D. Samkas appear to be winged Moroicas. Lycans or werewolves are the predominant enemies in the game. They look pretty unnerving once they get close to you. They can shoot bows, carry melee weapons, and even wear armor to make themselves an even more pain in the ass. In standard they would wait until they get close enough before they do their lunge attack, but on Village of Shadows they will fucking rush at you. The thing I like about them is how they try to dodge your attacks, which can both be pretty awesome and dreadful at the same time. There's this big one that will make you say holy shit, now that's a werewolf. The big axe/hammer wielding ones, in which you need fuck tons of ammo to kill. In the infamous Beneviento Manor there is no combat, your guns will be taken away and the baby will chase you.
Let's go. Let's go.
You'll also encounter Angie and her delightful friends. Heisenberg's metal army, which ranges from cooler Meroicus to soldats, or as I would like to call them. Drill Man. Fully armored Drill Man. Heavy Metal Drill Man. And the weapon to surpass Metal Gear. There is crafting in this game, although basic, it will help you choose what ammo you can load in your guns at the moment instead of waiting to loot them. Now for my cons of this game. The bosses can sometimes feel too bullet spongy, especially on higher difficulties. Some people might find the story campaign too short. Your first campaign can be finished within 9 to 11 hours, that will be shortened to maybe about 3 or 4 hours once you've memorized every nook and cranny of this game. In conclusion, I loved it far more than I should. From the narrative to the gameplay, it's a superb game. The short campaign makes it highly replayable. The scare factor might be reduced on your subsequent playthrough, but the sheer badassery of mowing down enemies that gave you a hard time on your first run is truly satisfying. Plus you'll be able to locate treasures easily. No more selling Luz's treasure, because how the fuck was I supposed to know that there's a key inside of this? If you want a real challenge, then consider playing on the Village of Shadows difficulty. The bosses are a hell of a lot tougher, so I suggest you do this on your second or third playthrough, because you are gonna get bodied if you try this on your first run unless you are good at the game. Unlike me, whose entire thought process is me see enemy, me unload entire clip. RE8 might not be a full-on horror game, but it does blend its action and suspense elements quite nicely. Great game, mate. I would rate Resident Evil 8 an 8 out of 8.